And welcome in live back to our Wilmington studios here at DETV for another DETV Sports Update. Well, first off, just want to hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving holiday and had a great weekend. And we are here on a Monday as usual, but we are without one of our own here to start this Monday evening. We do have a special guest playing the role of Jason McCall, Dr. Aaron Bassa. Doctor, we appreciate you joining us here on a Monday evening. Now, we had assumed Jason McCall would be here in the flesh to discuss some of the sports happenings here over the weekend. We assumed wrong. We are here. We haven't heard from Jason. We haven't talked to Jason. We assumed he would be here tonight. We are still awaiting on his arrival. But, guys, I'm not sure if he's going to show up. But, Doctor, really appreciate you joining us tonight. Any words for maybe Jason's watching us at home
Glad to be
right
here.
now.
So for Jason, if anybody does see Jason, please alert DETV as soon as possible. He was seen last night in Raven Stadium, purple tears coming down his eyes, and I don't know what happened to him, but Jason, we do miss you. We appreciate you. I don't know what happened. I believe he was at the game. I'm not sure if he was watching the game. But Jason, if you happen to watch the game, can you please call us back and tell us the score of the Eagles-Ravens game? I tried to put it on my DVR, but I couldn't find it, and you weren't here. So, Jason, this one goes to you, as they say in Baltimore.
All right, again, welcome back in, of course, as always, Matthew Maurer. Matthew, you're here in the flesh tonight. Great to see you, unlike Jason McCall.
I know.
Hey, man, I show up, man, even when it hurts. And it's been hurting. It's been hurting.
We're going to get to that here in just a little bit. But again, if you've seen Jason, alert him. We are looking for him. We need him here today. And again, Jason, we hope that you are okay. But again, on a milk carton, we're looking for you, Jason McCall. Hopefully we can find you soon. But again, hopefully everything is okay.
No, on a crab carton, on something very Baltimore-esque.
That's right, there you go.
On a carton of Old Bay seasoning. Put little pictures of Jason McCall.
Oh, man.
Where are you,
Well, it's been
Jason?
a rough few weeks for Jason McCall here on DETV
it has.
after the Steelers fiasco a few weeks ago. But, guys, let's just start with that initially here because that was going to be the plan here in the A block was to talk a little bit about the Ravens-Steelers game of the week on Fox last night. And, again, we didn't all know the score. We were expecting Jason to come in and kind of tell us what happened in that game, give us the big plays and stuff like that. But we're going to have to do it ourselves, guys. So let's dive on in to the Eagles beating the Ravens in Baltimore yesterday. Score doesn't really tell the story. 24-19 wasn't really that close during the game. Eagles go down 9-0, work all the way back, and dominate the second half of football as per usual so far this season. Doctor, what did you see in that game last night from the Eagles in that win on the road? They were 3.5-point underdogs in that game.
I saw that was embarrassing. So I think the disrespect is what helped us out. I think Quinyon Mitchell is a grown man. Cooper DeJean is a grown man. First off, I'm going to give shout out to Saquon Barkley and to Howie Roseman to pick up Saquon, Quinyon, Cooper DeJean in the offseason. Like, hats off to you. Saquon blowing through everybody. Giants, we love you. Appreciate all that you give to Philadelphia. Keep it going. If you have some other great prospect, which you currently have on your team, so like maybe a few years out because you have nobody right now. Daniel Jones is probably your greatest. But anyway, if like Saquon is just a beast right now, I got to give a shout out to Cooper DeJean. So Cooper DeJean took King Henry, who could have been a Dallas Cowboy.
It's true.
Who could have and begged and said, I'm here, I live in Texas. Grown man, Cooper DeJean, who's a rookie, took this man, picked him up, pile drived him into the ground, and just walked off like a king. So I don't know. I think Jason might have been the play that broke his heart.
You think that's when he turned it, or you think maybe he left after that?
I feel like Jason's soul left his body and was in the ground when he got pile driven into the ground.
It's still at M&T Bank Stadium.
He might still be. That could be where he is.
Maybe we should call somebody over there.
What's the? If you are the Baltimore Police Department and you happen to see a man still crying in the parking lot, might be a part of the DSU band. Please. Let us know.
If you've ever been to Baltimore, they don't allow tailgating there or anything before, after the games, Orioles, Ravens. So again, you will find him. Nobody else will be there. It'll just be him out there if you can locate him. But Matthew, one of the guys you loved in the draft was Quinyon Mitchell. We talked about Cooper DeJean as well, but you said the Eagles need to go out and get some defense. They did that in the draft.
They did.
and it's paying off for him here so far.
It's more than paying off, and I'm John Lynch. I don't understand. Because when I watch Cooper, I see a lot of like John Lynch.
Yeah, right. That's what I
mean. This kid is.
About him. I thought he was going to be playing safety when the transition.
I thought he was going to be safety as well, but I mean, they got such a good lineup with him and Quinyon. I mean, Quinyon. That's another one I don't understand. Like, I got to give the Eagles a lot of credit because even though all the draft nicks said that Quinyon Mitchell was a top 10 guy. For some reason, when that draft started, and a lot of the draft nicks said that Cooper DeJean was first rounder, for some reason, everybody just didn't listen. I don't know.
We said it here on the desk.
But Howie and them did, and hats off, man. I mean, the way he is fit in with this defense, just everything that they're doing. They're getting production from that defensive line.
Phew, man, Jalen Carter, what an animal. Game changer.
Animal. And I think the thing about him that makes him the most dangerous is you're seeing growth in terms of like understanding like the intensity of the game and not letting it get the best of him. In his rookie year, there was times where he got really upset and frustrated, and you can see on the sidelines. It's more like business usual now for him. He just goes out there and he does his job, and man, like you got another year of him developing. I mean, it's gonna get nasty.
But the other thing, I think you also have like guys like Brandon Graham.
You're right.
So you have some vets that actually know the game that can actually like bring you in. I think the team, Jalen Carter, had a lot of just baggage coming in.
Right.
And the whole team just like silenced all that for him.
Right.
And then you got Vic Fangio, who's getting the most production because the Eagles' defense was not hitting as hard.
That's a fact.
To start the game off. I still need them to start wrapping up. I'm tired of that we're going to run and just throw our helmets into people. I need you to wrap up. But for the most part, like, they're clicking.
They are.
And I haven't seen this. This reminds me of Jimmy Johnson. Eagles defense back in like the 90s and early 2000s.
Right.
Jimmy Johnson was a beast, and he didn't have to blitz everybody.
Right.
I can take you with the front four, lock you all up.
Right.
And so I think when you get Slay back, I would love to see BG come back. It's not going to happen.
Oh, man, that was a tough one for them.
Yeah.
Fangio said he's going to bring him back next season.
If he wants to come back, I'd love to have him back.
We'll see, but he's been producing. So
Yeah, in the game that he got hurt in against the Rams, that was one of his best games of the season. I mean, he had 2 sacks in that game, or a sack and a half before the Peck injury, obviously being out for the season is the ruling there. But, I mean, you talked about it. Great bridge players, great leaders on that team. Jalen Carter would have been the #1 player on most people's big boards in that draft. Had that car incident over there at Georgia.
Yep.
Falls to the Eagles, ends up being potentially could be the steal or the best player in that entire draft class. And then I had a chance to talk to Cooper DeJean last year at the Combine in Indianapolis, and I asked him if the Eagles had a chance to talk to him or anything like that. He said no. So the Eagles kind of slick. Didn't interview him at the Combine, kind of waited until the draft, and then snuck up there, and they were willing to get him. Howie Roseman, obviously, historically hasn't been the best, I guess you could say, draft GM, obviously the first go around, but since he's come back, he is starting to hit
hitting
all
home
these
runs.
picks. I mean, look at the Jalen Hurts pick. People hated the Jalen Hurts pick when they had Carson Wentz that year.
Not me.
I mean, me either.
Not me.
I love what I saw to him in Oklahoma. I love that year he had
Second
there.
round pick.
Exactly right. And again, that ended up being maybe one of the best picks of his career, and that was a pick a lot of people in the city didn't like with Carson Wentz signing that big contract, right before that draft. So he's been great. Jalen Carter, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, the last couple years, these two guys, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Howie Roseman's done a fantastic job. That was another fantastic. I'm telling you, he's been GM of the year the last couple years.
has been
What a
stepping up,
transformation
man.
that has been.
I
And
mean,
again, Vic Fangio changed the defense almost entirely. He was really focused on that front four and a lot of that pass rush last year. He's kind of flipped it, right? A lot of that secondary, they've got so much great coverage now in the back end with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. You can bring some of those guys just rush four.
And mind you, they still don't know what to do with Bryce Huff yet.
And he's hurt on IR right now.
Yeah, right.
Jordan Davis.
Right.
Jordan Davis, as big as he is, he needs a lot more production.
Right.
I agree with you on that one. I'm waiting for that too. Again, if he doesn't get that, maybe get a little bit quicker, get that size down a little bit, which he has done already, then they'll because again, that pick I always toe back, and Jason is the one. He does have this to stand on. I wanted Kyle Hamilton with that pick.
Jason, who?
Oh, that's
Wait, again, if you happen to see Jason McCall, M&T Bank, or maybe somewhere Riverside or Southbridge, please call DETV. We are looking for you, Jason. I do have questions about what it was like in the stadium when you walked out amongst all the Eagles fans. Did you join in and say the chant? Did you put your chain back into your little jacket? Tell us what you experienced, Jason, because I came to the show to talk to you, and you are not here, as they say in Baltimore, the long "you." Where are you, Jason? Yes, and if I do get hate mail from all of Baltimore, Again, send it to DETV. I appreciate that.
Jason, we are still looking for you. But, guys, now I want to talk about the elephant in the room there for that Eagles team, the biggest addition in the offseason and potential MVP down the stretch.
He should be MVP.
It's got to be Saquon Barkley. And, Matthew, tell us what you think about that MVP conversation. Right now, he's amongst the league leaders, but in Vegas, not the favorite as it stands right now. Josh Allen, after last night, has jumped to the lead of that race. But we all know quarterbacks love to get some of that publicity there heading into the MVP ballot season. But I'm with you. I think Saquon Barkley should be the MVP. You agree?
I mean, yeah, when I called it, I was like one of the few to say it. Then people were like, even Jason questioned it.
I think that was back during the Derrick Henry was kind of the lead dog.
Right. And the thing, when you watch Saquon is the impact isn't just the numbers. Like, I mean, he's producing at a rate we've never seen. And a lot of that has to do, what we were talking about pre-show, was the offensive line is superior. You have Jalen Hurts, who gives an additional threat. So defenses they can't key on them as much. And you've got A.J. Brown out there. You've got a lot of guys that can make plays. You have that. And then he opens up other things for other people. And that's the part that I think the NFL has to decide here, is if we're just going to give the MVPs the quarterbacks and just say it's a quarterback award and then we don't have to do all this. But to me, if we're talking about MVP, I think he's the best player on one of the best teams in the NFL. And if you're not going to give it to another position, like, what else do running backs have to do? I mean, he's on pace for 2,000 yards.
By the way, Adrian Peterson got MVP.
Correct.
And was on a losing squad.
Correct.
And still got it. Saquon has better numbers than him right now. So I don't think you need to be the best player on the best team. You need to just be the best player. And I think what's different about Saquon is that he's really sparked the entire offense of the Eagles. Right. Unlike anybody else, I think Josh Allen is an awesome quarterback.
Yeah, agreed.
I will not take anything from that. But at the same time, Josh Allen's been Josh Allen.
Right.
He has been consistent the entire time. If you put Josh on another team, he'll do the same numbers, the same results. Saquon, clearly from the Giants, we appreciate y'all. Put an O-line around him, healthy group, and also he's been healthy.
It's been
he has not been having the same injuries. I think they use him like Barry Sanders. He was the only player that was productive. They ground that man into just dust and then said, I don't know why he's hurt. He's got nothing. Like, he's doing everything by himself. Now you put people around
He's
him.
averaging 6 yards per carry.
And again, like you said, on pace to break the single-season rushing record held by Eric Dickerson. So if he's able to do that, I think he could cement that MVP status. But again, as you guys have said, the award voters, they love quarterbacks. And Josh Allen, after the game in the snow last night on prime time, that'll give him a little juice here going forward. But again, a lot of time for this to change. You look at the Eagles' schedule, which is way easier than what the Bills got going forward. Carolina, you got a tough one there against the Steelers, but you get them at the link. And then you got Washington, Dallas, and the Giants. So a couple of run defenses that Saquon could exploit there, and I think could make a nice run or a nice case for that MVP. So again, in Vegas, I think he's plus 350 right now. Might want to head over to Delaware Park, maybe get that in with that schedule down the stretch. I think he can win the award. We'll
I
find
think
out.
so too.
But do you play him against Dallas and the Giants, or just? I mean, I feel like they should let a fan play and just jump in and put me in a running back against the Giants.
But if he's on pace to break the single-season rushing record, right? I mean, don't you feel like? I mean, obviously you would talk to him about that first, but that's a big record to have. I know obviously you don't want to sacrifice team success, and these teams have this discussion every year. The ones that are doing well and people are on the verge of breaking records. Tyreek Hill in the receiving record, last year and the year before. Do you play him? And like you're saying, this will be a year where the Eagles have a chance at maybe the number 1 seed, depending how the Lions play. They got the Packers this Thursday. That's going to be a tough game. So, again, the Eagles have a chance at the top seed and a first-round bye, so that's actually a very good question, and we'll see if they go that route.
If we take out Detroit. I think the other thing, though, is for Saquon. What was the game he said, let the other guys eat?
That's right. Yeah, that was –
I forget that one. He was on pace
that
to
was
break
a blowout.
an
Yes,
record,
that was a blowout.
and he said let the other guys eat.
Yep.
So, Saquon, he's humble.
Giants.
The Giants game. Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Even the revenge game. Wow, there you go.
The Giants. That's right. Because they don't have anybody.
And shout out to that one brother did with the Giants in the HBO special that said, I really don't want to see what Barkley would do with the Eagles.
Yeah,
don't fire him. Everybody else, just go ahead and get them out of the building,
Mr. Mara,
bro.
not too happy with everything going on.
We'd like to keep Mara happy and healthy. By the way, if you would like to also donate with me to make sure that Jerry Jones lives forever, send $5 to DETV, put Jerry Jones Fund, and then another $5 for trying to find Jason McCall. We have to raise money to find Jason we got to get Old Bay seasoning in on this deal.
And again, and if you're really feeling generous, we'd love to keep Mike McCarthy in Dallas.
Mike McCarthy.
So if we can fund that as well, Big Mike, we'd love for you to stay down there.
$5 for the Giants for Mara, $5 for Jerry Jones, $5 for Jason, and then $5. That's $20.
That's right.
Like, that's money
That's a
well
good
spent.
deal.
We could have kept Rivera and Schneider and that whole crew, but Washington actually they cleaned house. They're looking like they've got some type of organizational structure over there. So we'll see if that continues, but that seems to be the way it's going right now. Only thing I want to say about the Ravens now, we don't have Jason, so he takes kind of all the Ravens fun out of it.
Right.
I wanted to ask him about the defense. I wanted to ask him about what he thought they had going forward. But instead, I want to ask you guys about Justin Tucker, who has now missed 7 kicks this season, the most in his career, Hall of Famer. Is he done? Or if you're the Ravens, what do you do with Justin Tucker? I mean,
you keep him.
you have to, right?
Who else?
Exactly, and that's the point. Yeah, I'm with you.
And I feel like for kickers, every kicker has a bad game, a little streak of bad games. So what are you going to do?
And Ravens have lost 5 games this season, all by a combined 22 points. Justin Tucker has missed exactly 22 points in kicks so far this year for the Ravens. But I'm with you. You can't. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. What are you going to do now? You're stuck with. You just got to hope he finds that groove again comes the playoffs. Because if not, we've seen kickers like that blow some games in some big time moments down the stretch. So maybe Justin Tucker's the reason the Ravens blow it this year in the playoffs. If they,
I'm out on Justin Tucker, man.
cut him right now.
Really?
Probably after the year, man. I mean, he's hitting 70%. He's hitting 70% of his kicks.
He's got the yips.
He's got the yips, but what we see, but you know what it reminds me of? It's a different sport, but it reminds me of like Nick Anderson, where it's like just have this mental breakdown, and now all of a sudden you go from being an 80% free throw shooter to being 50%. It's painful.
So my question: do you think the Ravens, and Jason jokes aside, do you think the Ravens have what it takes inside to win the chip? I think they're a great team, so all respect to them.
Yeah.
But when you get to the playoffs and you watch them the playoffs and they get down to the wire, I don't see them pushing through.
No.
And again, I thought, and I think a lot of people did think that maybe Derrick Henry would be the difference this year, but what they didn't account for was losing Mike McDonald to Seattle, who now has won 3 straight. And that defense for Baltimore is not even close. They're a shell of what we saw of themselves last year. They were a top 5 unit in against the run and the pass. They're great against the run this year, but they're a bottom 3 unit against the pass in total. I mean, you cannot win a Super Bowl that way. And then what you saw Saquon do to them on the ground, they were number 1 against the rush. Well, that just got exploited yesterday. Saquon ate their lunch. So now you're giving up against the run. You're giving up against the pass. We'll see if they can put it together down the stretch, but there's a lot of question marks over there.
I think that was endurance, though. If you look at Saquon the first quarter, he couldn't do anything. He was shut down. Derrick Henry was shut down the first quarter too. Saquon, they just commit to the run, and they will grind you down.
Yes,
the Eagles have done really well in just being consistent.
Wear you
what
down.
they've done, Kellen Moore with the Cowboys did the same thing. They would just give up on the run. If it's not working the first quarter, they just give up. And
We saw that last year.
Yep. So I feel like they're at least going like, let's play some bully ball. We're going to put our big guys out there. We're going to knock your teeth out. And then if you stand up,
I
then
love
we
that.
got it.
Yeah, and again, and they've got the defense finally this year to go along with that style of play. So if they can keep it going, one of the hottest teams in football is going to be potentially a 2-team race for that top seed in the NFC. We'll see. And we gave our power rankings last year, and I think I'm always a little skeptical. I don't like to put the Eagles at number 1. I don't know, but after this week, they're going to be up there in my top 2 or 3. Last week, Matthew, I had the Lions ahead of the Eagles by 1 spot in my power rankings. I believe you had the Eagles ahead of the Lions.
I did.
In yours.
I did.
So how do you feel about that now between the Lions and the Eagles? You still feel the same way?
I mean, yeah. I don't believe in Jared Goff. I don't know why people do. I think he mid and waiting, but like if that's what people want to believe, I just don't believe in Jared Goff. Like at the end of the day, I know the numbers he's putting up. I know he's doing well. Not taking anything away from that. But people don't realize Jared Goff was with the Rams, and they said,
They switched.
I'm good. I'll take your quarterback. You take my quarterback.
And they got a chip.
And they got a chip. And people don't like to look at, like people talk, I've heard people talk about Jalen Hurts, and even I do sometimes about Jalen. But here's the thing. Jared Goff isn't loaded. He's got 2 the best dual backs in the league.
Agreed. I don't think
Gibbs
it's
and
debatable.
Montgomery.
Yeah.
He's got one of the best O-lines, top 3.
I would say number 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's not. I don't think that's an argument either.
I mean, he's got probably some of the best 3 wideouts.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Laporta.
Jameis Williamson, Laporta at tight end. So I'm saying when people talk about Jalen Hurts and all the weapons he got, like, bro, did you see what Jared Goff got?
And not to mention the best play caller, arguably again, in the NFL, and Ben Johnson, who
Right.
declined multiple years of head coaching opportunities to stay in Detroit.
Exactly.
And maybe next year he'll take one, but he's done whatever he wanted this year so far with the Lions. I mean, Doctor, what do you think about this one here with the Eagles and Lions? How close do you think that is? Do you think the Eagles maybe have surpassed them?
So I love my Eagles. I know we played better from behind. So I will say I'll go number 2. Only because I want to see them play from behind. If you put them down 3 points like in the Ravens game and they go out there and they have that chip on their shoulder, they do better. When you favor them, we don't always do well. I also think for the Lions, I wonder how they're doing the playoffs. I think if you give them number 1 seed,
that's big, I think.
Will they keep the same energy in the playoffs? Playoffs are very different than playing in just the regular season. So I don't know. I think they might take the first round and then get punched in the mouth. First game of the playoffs. And
again, going back to Detroit, I had them as ahead of the Eagles in my power rankings last week, as we discussed. They're going to have, when the season's over, 3 total games outdoors the whole year. Every other game they played will be in a dome. So when it comes to the playoffs, that may change. That's why I think the number 1 seed for the Lions means more than the number 1 seed would mean for the Eagles. Obviously, coming to the link would be unbelievable. But I think the Eagles have I think the Eagles can go on the road at Ford Field in that turf and that dome and get a victory. I don't know if the Lions can come to Philly at the link at that weather and get a victory over there here in Philadelphia. So I think it means a lot more for Detroit to get that number 1 seed. Not saying they will get it. They got a tough stretch down the path here, but I think it's big for Detroit to hold on to that top seed in the NFC.
So let me ask you something. Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Nick Sirianni.
Absolutely right.
Okay, and I have my reasons, and I don't think they're unfounded.
You can check previous episodes and you can find some good clips.
Nick is the greatest coach. I can't go ahead.
Set him up.
Dan Campbell. So Dan Campbell, right? And you talked about the playoffs. So Dan Campbell has an attitude about we're going to go, we're going to go, we're going to go, and he did it against us.
It didn't work.
Didn't work.
Cost him the game.
I agree with what the doctor said. It's a different animal when you get in that playoffs. Everything works in the regular season, and then you get in that playoff. When he played against us, we were like, okay, y'all going to go? Great. Go. Yeah. Like, it's different, man. And I think if you're talking about coaches, I don't know. I think Nick going to be better off in that situation than Dan. I think Dan, I'll be honest with you, if Dan made those calls and he was in Philly, I don't think Dan's
you would have got
coaching,
the same
bro.
treatment as Sirianni.
I don't think Dan coaching, bro. Dude, it was bad. Like, I think people.
It was really bad.
I think because Detroit has been perennially bad. Like, people gave
it doesn't hurt as much, right?
They gave him the mulligan, where it was like, what
you need to do?
Yeah.
But dog, if he did that in Philly, bro, you might not have a home when you come back, bro. Like, it's different.
Philly, I think for Nick Sirianni, I think he's more like a baseball manager than he is an actual coach. And I think the players are what defend him, and they respect him. So everybody's ever worked with Nick Sirianni, every player will defend him because he actually builds up trust, builds relationships. At the same time, I think you have players in the Eagles that are just grown men who are ready to go into that limelight. I do think that when Jalen Hurts lost to Kansas City in that Super Bowl and the confetti was coming down, it was all the red and yellow confetti. If you look at Jalen Hurts' face and you look at Jalen Hurts just like walk off, I think he picked up some confetti off the ground. He's ready to go back. And I think they're ready as a team to go off and do something. I don't know if other teams are. At the same time, I will not say my Eagles are going right to the Super Bowl. I will not say they're going to win because I like them to play from behind. But in my heart, go Birds.
There you go. Again, Lions and Eagles competing right now, battling for that top seed. Again, it might just be a 2-horse race, though. Minnesota is right there at 10-2. I know nobody ever talks about them or discusses them. They are somehow still 10-2. Are the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell's done a heck of a job there with Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's going to get like $30 million.
And again, talking before the show again, just another note. Daniel Jones back up in Minnesota. Who knows if something happens to Darnold? Maybe we see Daniel Dimes in a playoff game if they don't have something happens to Darnold down the stretch. You never know. There could be a world where that happens.
That's nasty work right there.
I think you would play other people before you play Danny Dimes.
I would too, personally, but I think they happen.
I would take Joey DeVito.
I know. I would.
I'm just saying.
Danny Dimes might be playing like a safety. He might do like a punt return, but like something else.
They always say that with black quarterbacks. Look, Danny, you might have to change positions, brother. I'm just saying, bro. Something ain't clicking upstairs, my man. You a Duke kid. It's something ain't clicking, bro.
Yeah, something ain't clicking. Pick years ago. Again, he wasn't on my top 10 big board back then. So let's keep it going here with the Bills. They clinched the AFC East with that win over the 49ers as Matthew catches a stray there on that one. Josh Allen, the first quarterback ever with a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown in the same game. If you've got the play, Dennis, I think you might. Let's show it now here for everybody at home. This was the play that made NFL history yesterday as Allen got Cooper, kind of tackled there, held up, and just going to toss it back to Josh Allen, who was able to go Superman style into the pylon for the touchdown. He got a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown on that play alone. And again, his MVP odds have now soared to the top of the board there. The Bills now improved to 10-2, one of the top spots in the AFC. They lose Diggs. They had a lot of question marks coming into the season, but they've answered them all. James Cook's been phenomenal this year on the ground. Again, not a lot. Bills seem to be one of the best teams in the AFC. And then on the flip side of that game last night, guys, was the 49ers, who, again, have had one of the most injury-ridden seasons in some time. It continued last night. CMC returned 2 weeks ago with all that Achilles tendonitis, the injuries to the knee. And then last night he suffers a PCL injury to his right knee on one of the tackles that he was taken down on in that ball game. He will be out most likely for the rest of the year. He's going to head back to injured reserve. So his season is over. They continue to pile up. They lose Brandon Ayuk earlier in the year, torn ACL. They didn't have McCaffrey. They get him back. He's now down for the rest of the year. Brock Purdy missed last week. He's dealing with a broken finger and an injury. George Kittle's been on the injured list all season long. Deebo Samuel's missed some games. He's finally back. Ricky Pearsall was shot before the season. He is now back. Trent Williams has missed time. Injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Javon Hargrave's out big up front for them. I mean, I could go on and on. Matthew.
Hold on, Nick. Hold on. I'm sorry. Matt.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Real quick. That was a long.
It was
long.
How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling like we trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
When he named all the players that have been hurt or shot, did that make you just feel bad inside? Like a personal my cousin got hurt, something like that?
Yeah, it made me wish that I could watch last year again. Last year was a good year. Until Patrick walked us down, but
he did.
It was a good
That
year.
was a tough overtime loss for sure.
That was tough.
Again, but it's like you're there every year, right? The 49ers, one of the top
Not this year.
picks
Yeah,
every
not
year
this year.
coming in.
Not this year.
Not this year.
So, Nick, I just felt bad as you were just rattling off.
I know it's
Greenlaw too, man.
that's. I mean, it could keep going. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
It's wild.
Next thing you know, Kyle Shanahan's gonna miss a game with something there.
And I'm honestly, we're gonna need some draft picks that are gonna do really well. We gotta really.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How many draft picks do you need?
We need an overhaul. I'm just gonna be honest.
Well, let me ask you this one,
Yeah.
Matthew. And again, are you concerned at all about the long-term availability now of Christian McCaffrey, right? He's 29 years old. He's coming off that knee injury.
Yeah.
Last year, he was the best offensive player in the world by far. This year, didn't play, gets hurt again, and now you're looking at maybe a potential 30-year-old running back.
So
next
my
year.
son Marcus, when we got him, he said, "Congratulations, Dad. I see you guys got CMC. And I said to him, I said, listen, if we don't win the title, it's for nothing. So how do I feel? I feel like to quote my man Bean, job wasn't done. And Trent Williams is going to retire. George Kittle's 31. Debo is raiding Little Richard's closet, and he's 29.
That man can dress. Glad he's on your team.
Yeah.
we got Jerry McCain in Philly.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you got Jerry McCain in Philly, so I wouldn't talk too much there. At least he's not doing TikToks.
I mean,
It's
not Saquon though.
No.
Good with backup players.
Yeah. But no, I mean, dude, we're not. We didn't get what we were putting into. I mean, we went and got Chase Young during the season. We were doing all this stuff to get to those pieces to get there. And I think people aren't going to have him there. But I already have Pat Mahomes as a top 5 guy. He walked us down. So it is what it is. We gave our best shot, and twice it's been Pat Mahomes that knocked us out. So, I mean, look, man. At least
Jazz couldn't beat the Bull.
It was better. I mean, we could have lost to Eli Manning, so at least I can say that.
But again, we've all sat up here. We went
yes,
through
Eli Manning is overrated.
Substantial list of injuries.
I just want to let people know that Eli Manning's
if you
overrated.
have hate mail for Matt, please send DETV as
fact.
he insulted both Manning brothers or just one?
Just the one, just Eli.
Okay. You ain't want to jump in on?
And wait,
No, I like Peyton.
wait till we
Peyton,
get
my
to
baby.
Kirk Cousins here in a minute. I'm sure Max got
Captain
something to say
Mid.
about that. But
Bring him out.
I mean, you said we just went over the injuries, right? And how
Yeah.
bad of a season. You're ready to just throw it. I mean,
I'm ready for the draft, baby.
You're 2 games out of the division lead. 2 games out.
I know, but I'm already ready for
the
the
Hawks are
ready
at 7-5.
Listen.
Everybody in the division is within 2 games of
I
each
say
other.
this
They can still
respectfully.
win the division and make the playoffs.
I say this respectfully.
That's crazy.
We're not the Arizona Cardinals. This is not good. Okay?
That's it.
And the Cardinals, first off, I don't understand. They will get. They smoked us last year too.
Right.
But somehow they just win a game, and you're like, how did they win?
Yeah, how?
How did they even get into this?
Jonathan Gannon?
Okay. I'm sorry. Like
Shout out to
Hey,
shout out to Midget Man.
Jonathan Gannon. How was this?
this big. How does he even see over the line?
Big head. Boy got a big head, man. Got a lot on his mind, boy.
Man.
Let me tell you.
Big body.
Well, you cutthroat. I like this. I like this.
Pretty
you
brutal.
You went personal with certain. Okay. I like this. Dude.
But hey, look at the Cardinals are 1 game out. Seattle's won 3 straight. They now lead the division by 1 game over just the Cardinals
lost to
and the
Seattle,
Rams.
too.
But again, you're going to have games
So
for the
nasty.
49ers against all 3 of those division teams, I believe, to round out the year. There's a good chance you could be playing for the division in Week 18 and a chance to get back to the playoffs.
Why?
It would be insane, but
You
it's
ain't going
definitely
anywhere.
possible.
It's like
Everyone gets healthy.
Who you guys
What
like
you
in the
should
NFC
do
West?
is change out and just get all your trainers changed out. Your whole medical team. Like,
There
keep
you
all the
go.
same players, change out the whole
I'm
medical
gonna do that
team.
tonight on Madden. We winning in Madden though. I got that Madden
And how's
25.
that Nebraska team doing on NCAA?
Oh, we running the option, baby. We going hard. Yeah, it's a fact. I brought Florida State back too. See, it's terrible, dog. My
This
life,
year's got you thinking. Hurt.
my life right now, you know,
Too much going.
it's too much bad. I'm literally living virtually. That's all I can do right now. I play Florida State on my college football.
on the TV, right?
Yeah,
That's
I'm doing digital trophies. It's a bad time for me right now. You know
So
what I mean?
there's 2
can make
questions
you a
here,
room.
guys. NFC West, who wins it? Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, or Niners?
Does it matter?
Not the
Do we
Niners.
have that picture? Do we have the graphic, Dennis, of the NFC West we can flash up just to give everybody an idea of what that battle's looking like in the schedule going forward for those teams out there with the Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, and Niners. So there's the schedule on what the records are looking like right now.
Give me the Rams, man.
I'll say the Rams.
I just believe in their quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody else's quarterback, I ain't.
They're not going anywhere. So you can take anybody on that squad and on that.
I'm going to go with the Rams, too. I'm going to go with
Yeah.
the Rams.
You're a
Matt
Matt Stafford fan, so, you know.
Puka Nacua, give me the Rams in the NFC West. We'll see how it goes. Do you guys think the Bills could come out of the AFC?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And if the Chiefs lose 1 game, like if the Raiders, they're not blowing
That was
that
on
game
here.
on
I don't even
Friday.
have to. I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, we're going to skip that one.
Okay, let's just have this conversation. Who is paying off teams for the Chiefs? Let's discuss that. Because I don't understand how every game somebody does something that they've done their entire life. You have hiked the ball your entire life. You're nothing but big and hiking the ball. And you choose that one moment, 15 seconds left, that you forgot when to hike the ball. And you could have taken the field goal and won the game 19-17. So I don't understand the Chiefs. So I do think they're paper thin. And I do think that the Bills take them out because they already have that 1-1 against them. So I'll take the Bills in the AFC.
I can't. You come on, man. You know I ain't betting against Pat, man.
I would say man
I'll
never
bet
goes against
against
the
Pat.
Chiefs. I've been the
I've unfortunately I've lived the experience of betting against Pat.
yeah, I had him the whole way out of the playoffs last year. They went against him all the time.
I'm right there with
so,
you.
so
And
yeah.
and I lost my train of thought. I was going to say. So I've been the lone Josh Allen fan on the show now for over 2 to 3 years. So I'm glad to have another Josh Allen.
I'm not a fan. Let me be real clear about this. So I think the Bills will still beat the Bills. Who's going to win the AFC? I'll say Josh Allen. But let's be real clear, not a Josh Allen.
See, this is the one problem
man.
with Josh Allen. He's like the new Mac or like the new XPS from Dell. The problem is he's running Windows 98. Like something there is just.
Man, half our viewership just left the entire conversation.
I'm just saying,
couple
man.
more just quick
Windows
stats here.
Vista. Windows Vista. I mean, you know, wherever you want to go. Windows 7 is not up to date. Is what I'm getting at. Okay.
Wow.
Here,
You know,
the Chiefs-
he's like watching the Tyson fight on Netflix.
There you go.
There you go. All right, we can all relate to that.
There,
I'm sorry.
we can relate to that. Thank you for bringing it closer. That's why you're the doctor.
And let me ask you
That's why I don't
guys,
quit my day job.
Chiefs, just in terms of, we talked about the calls and then them getting some 9 one-possession games, and they've won 6 of them on the last play. So just take for that what you will.
the
14th
greatness of Pat
consecutive
Mahomes, man. That's what I'm living
one-possession
with.
Not Pat
victory in the Chiefs
Pat Mahomes over
consecutive.
there
So.
casting spells and stuff across the.
Look, what I really want to say, we can't without the NFL coming at us. It's because Taylor Swift provides ratings, and they want to make sure they put Taylor Swift in ratings. And
All right, well, I do
wear
want to
my
mention
Alex
another
Jones
thing.
tinfoil hat. There you go.
Well, guys, quickly, Jets lose again. If we're going to go ahead, let's fast forward to Aaron Rodgers quickly here. They lose. Reports coming out over the weekend that Aaron Rodgers is not wanted back with the Jets. So
Shocker!
They threw all
The Jets?
everything, all the money in the table.
That's news.
And Woody Johnson saying, I think we're good. So Aaron Rodgers not likely to be back next year. Just rumors that are circulating.
Ken O'Brien
already has a spot in New York. Just saying, he could just take another subway.
Ken O'Brien is rolling in his grave, or maybe his bed. I'm sorry, Ken.
Do we have that Jets? Can we flash the Jets image up on the screen there, Dennis, and just give you insight on what the Jets have been up to here. So Jets obviously had a lot of hype coming into the season, as the Jets were favored in 9 of their first 12 games this year. Wow. They're the first team in the Super Bowl era to be favored in that many games and be 3-9 or worse. No other 3-9 team had even been favored in 8 of their first 12 games. So that is just the overhype on the Jets. Truthfully, historically speaking, has never been a more hyped up team than the New York Jets coming into this season. That has really just not lived up to the hype. Thoughts on the Jets quickly? They're a dumpster fire. Where does Aaron Rodgers go next year?
Aaron Rodgers should retire.
No.
Okay.
He's got something in mind. Let's see where you sending him. What you got?
Like we swapped out between Detroit and the Rams.
Okay.
We swap out the Browns and the Jets. Deshaun Watson gets a new home.
There you go.
Just saying.
Hey.
Just hide the personal
I'll tell you
trainers.
what, Deshaun Watson cannot be any worse, right? So if he goes to New York, he's got to be better. He's got to be better.
Right
Look, my man, famous Jameis, got to get somewhere, dog. Just for the pre-speeches.
Well, we're going to get him in tonight on Monday
Just
Night
for the
Football.
speeches, man. I just need the speeches.
Quickly, Matthew, I want to get your opinion. We already highlighted it. We foreshadowed it earlier in the
Yeah.
show. Kirk Cousins. We put up. We have a graphic for you here. Dennis, flash the Kirk Cousins graphic as well. Falcons lose a tough one at home here to the
Captain
Chargers.
Mid, baby.
They look like they were in firm control of the division a few weeks ago. It has gone and being a train wreck since.
Straight mid
Last
pack.
3 weeks for Kirk Cousins: 0-3, 724 pass yards, no touchdowns, 6 picks, and 4 fumbles. Matthew, it's been years on the show. You nicknamed him Captain Mid 2 years ago with Minnesota. He has obviously never been able to get them over the hump. He goes to signs the big deal with Atlanta. I picked them to win the division at the beginning of the year. They get the big win over the Eagles early in the season. They reel off a couple wins in a row against that bad division in the NFC. And now they're on a little bit of a tough stretch here, and Kirk Cousins has been awful.
I just got to pay some bills right now. So to my friends that were mad at me because they think I hate on Kirk Cousins, you know what I say now? Ha! I told you guys. This is who he is. He's a fraud. 1 minute he's a good quarterback. The next minute he looks like he never played the position. It's the worst situation I've ever seen. Now, look, hats off to his agent. His agent is MVP. I mean, that man got some crazy money. I would gladly take his account. Okay, look. I call him Captain Mid on the show, but in terms of life, he's winning. He's not mid at all in life. Okay,
and he's saving all his money because he shops at Kohl's.
That's right. The Kohl's cash.
There you go.
He uses the Kohl's cash.
The Kohl's cash. Yeah, but no, I mean, this is what we all expected. I mean, dude, I don't know. I think it's done, man. I think it's done. And we shout out to the mailbox store, UPS. I want that check. Send it to Matthew Maurer of DETV. You know?
I thought I just saw Jason McCall. It was a cat. It was a cat that walked. I thought it was Jason. $5 for Jason McCall. We're gonna take over Old Bay.
And again, if anybody's heard from him, let us know in the comments right now during the show. We still have not.
I hope he's in the comments. I hope Jason, you in the comments. I'm sorry.
So as of right now, guys, the Falcons are leading division. Even after that tough loss yesterday, they are top of the division. Would you make the switch with how bad Cousins has been for just the 3 weeks? He's on 1 year of a 4-year deal. Would you make the switch already?
Yeah.
Through that?
You would?
Yeah,
I don't think I could right now. And we know how we feel about Penix.
I mean,
We're
I'm just
big
a hater.
Penix guys. But
to be
I
honest
think
with you, I'm
you
kind
can't
of
go
a
away from
jerk.
him
I'm a
yet.
hater. I just don't like the guy, man.
Well,
I don't think Penix. I think the coaches would have put Penix in.
That's a fact.
If he was that good, I think the coach. I think he's learning. I think he needs a few more reps. But maybe I could be wrong. I would give him the at-bats right now, though.
I mean, Pitts is still mid.
it's been rough for him too. I mean, underlying metrics show he's the 3rd worst quarterback in the league since week 10. So,
I mean, Pitts was supposed to be Tony Gonzalez.
well, this was supposed to be the first year he had a
He's looking
quarterback,
like
and
Tony
Kirk Cousins
Fashalis.
isn't showing up. So we'll see, but not looking good for either of those guys. And hopefully the Falcons can hold on to win that division. Let's run the no huddle before we get out of here. Okay. Steelers, Bengals, Russell Wilson throws for 400 yards. Woo. Bengals lose again. They are historically it's the most fascinating team in NFL history. They have lost 4 games when scoring 30 or more points. That's the most in a single season in NFL history. The offense puts up absurd numbers. Joe Burrow, if they had a winning record, would be probably the lead guy for the MVP. That's how good he's been. Yep. But they just can't seem to get it going. Guys, are the Bengals finished now finally, and the Steelers true Super Bowl contenders?
No.
Which one? The
Steelers, not true Super Bowl
contenders. I disagree.
Until Russell Wilson gets a real fade, it's not happening, bro. Just letting you know.
I mean,
400 yards. Bengals can't cover anybody. Still love to see it. Russell Wilson's been fantastic this year, Doctor.
So I'll say it is every Pennsylvania kid's dream to see a Turnpike Bowl. If you can get the Steelers versus the Eagles, you will see one half of the state burn down out of joy and the other half burn down out of misery. So pretty much you just took out 2 cities. But we would love to see that happen. And I'll be happy here in Delaware as we root for the Eagles. I
think true contender in Pittsburgh as well. With that defense and the way Russell Wilson's playing and the run game's going a little bit, I'm going to go Super Bowl contender as well. Colts beat the Patriots. Anthony Richardson has returned. He's been the 5th highest graded quarterback in PFF since he was benched and came back for these last 3 games. 2nd most in rush yards, most rushing touchdowns, and most yards after contact amongst all quarterbacks. Guys, they beat him on the 2-point conversion that he runs in at the end as time is expiring there, 25-24. Are you guys in on Anthony Richardson back with the Colts?
Absolutely not.
Who'd they play again?
The Patriots.
Okay, so keep moving. Right.
There it is. No huddle for a reason. Commanders blow out the Titans 42-19. Jaden Daniels, 240 yards, 4 total touchdowns. How confident are you in the Commanders to make a postseason run?
The Titans. Come on, man. Like, you see...
All right, and now, guys,
what
this is
player do they have?
You got something to say, Matthew?
I just want the Titans just to stop and just move back to 10.
They got Mayo Man, Will Levis. They got the mayonnaise man back there.
Nah, man, his girlfriend was right, but he ain't. Man. I'm just saying. Shout out to Will Levis. You won on draft night, and then you lost too. So. I'm sorry.
Texans squeaked by the Jaguars, guys, 23-20. Trevor Lawrence took this hit that Dennis is going to show you here. Started a brawl like we haven't seen in some time there on the field. When Trevor Lawrence tried to get down and make the slide, and then Al Shazier coming up and laying the boom here. So slide, boom, took him out. A brawl would ensue here that lasted, I would say, 10 minutes before they finally got this whole thing cleared out. Guys, thoughts on that hit? And Texans just getting a win by 3 here over the Jaguars has not been a great year for Houston.
No, it has not been for C.J. Stroud. I thought he'd take a giant step up. But who started for the Jaguars?
What, a quarterback?
A quarterback.
After Trevor Lawrence got hurt?
Yeah.
Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac
Jones.
He looked decent for the first time in 2 years. Didn't matter, though. C.J. Stroud beats one of the worst defenses in the league on a last-second field goal. So that takes me to this one. Yeah. Panthers have looked good over the last couple of games since Bryce Young is coming back from his benching. 860 yards and 5 touchdowns to 1 pick in the last 4 games. Dennis, flash the C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young graphic for everybody. Here's the comparison since week 8, guys. Bryce Young outplaying C.J. Stroud for the most part here since week 8. Is there a changing of the guard? Does that change your view on these two guys at all going forward?
No, but it does show me the power that a woman can have over a man's tongue.
Elaborate on that, because I know
Tyrese Maxey, get that man back his woman, man. It's terrible, dog. Come on, man.
Doctor, thoughts on Stroud, Bryce Young, and the Panthers playing a little bit better?
They're playing better, but I mean, okay, he's playing better. It's about the Panthers. Like,
we'll see him in Philly next week, right?
Yeah, but they're going to crush him.
Yeah, I hope so. I think Eagles defense going to fantasy next week.
Yeah, I feel good about. I think that he's improving. I think he's a young player. I think you give these guys some time. Where will they be? I don't know if they'll be great on the Panthers. I think if you put Bryce on a different team.
Love to see him on the Rams. I would love to see him in a Sean McVay system if Stafford were to retire or something like that. But
yeah, no, I hear you.
But if he keeps playing like this, I think Carolina's going to hold on to him. So we'll see what happens.
Surround him with nobody, which is why he'll end up looking like a bum.
And again, what a loss that was for them yesterday. Dennis's Buccaneers with a stunning 3-point victory off the fumble in overtime. So let's roll into Monday night preview as we wrap up the show. Browns at the Broncos tonight, guys. Denver -6.5. 41.5 set at the over-under. Let's do some over-under here, guys. I'm going to get you started with some of these props for tonight. Matthew, going to start with you. Jameis Winston, 230.5 passing yards, over-under.
I'm
going over.
I knew you would. That's why I had that one queued up for you. Dr. Bo Nix, 224.5 yards passing, over/under. He's been good as of late.
I'll take under.
Under.
I'll take under on both.
Matthew, Jerry Jeudy, 60.5 yards receiving. He has been waiting for this game all year, he said. He said he's ready to beat up his former team in the Broncos. What do you think?
No, you're talking too much.
Yeah,
Shut up, man.
Cortland Sutton has been one of the best receivers in the last 5 weeks in the entire league. He's sitting here at 69.5 yards, Doctor. What do you think?
I'll take the over.
Take the over, Cortland.
I'll take
I'm
the
with
over.
you there.
I'll take the over.
Matthew, Bo Nix, Doctor took the under on the passing yards. What about his rushing yards? 37.5. Can he get there tonight?
Under.
Under for Bo Nix in totality today. Javonte Williams, Doctor, 37.5 rushing yards. Low number for the starting running back for Denver.
I'll take over.
And then anytime touchdowns tonight, guys. Who gets into the end zone in this game between the Broncos and the Browns? I'm going to go with David Njoku here, tight end for Cleveland. That's going to be my anytime touchdown pick.
I think I'm going to go with Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams going to get in. And then, Doctor, what do you have? 41.5, so kind of a relatively average over-under, I guess I would say. Maybe a little low on the lower side. So we got David Njoku, Javonte Williams. Doctor, who finds the end zone tonight?
I think somebody on defense is going to find it
Oh,
first.
defensive touchdown. That's all you got to do is call it
touchdown.
defensive touchdown. Then defense special teams?
No. I think it's going to be
Just
like a
defense.
pick six. I think it's going to be,
Oh, I hope it's Denver.
or I hope it's just like a fumble. You just pop them in pop Bo Nix real quick and then just take the ball and walk.
They run
off.
the other
There
way.
you go.
There we go, guys. Who
Might
wins
do
the
that.
game tonight?
The Browns.
I'm going with the Bucks. I said the Bucks, the Broncos.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
was like, oh, they're playing. Dennis is happy to hear that. Then I'm going to go with the Broncos as well. 6.5 seems steep. I don't know if I'll take the points. I'll go with the Broncos to win on the money line, but 6.5. What do you guys think about that? Can they cover the line?
I don't think so.
Disrespecting Cleveland and Jameis a little bit there with that
Yeah,
one?
I mean, it is
We'll
Jameis.
find out. Dennis, who you got tonight? And Dennis
got
going
Denver.
with Denver. So we're going to get it to where we get all the images up on the screen here eventually. We'll get that for everybody at home. But we're going Denver, and then Doctor, the only one going with the Browns tonight. He's going to be our upset picker. Jason does that too as well. So we lose Jason, but Doctor going to give us a pick, an underdog
Jason.
pick of his. Wait, who?
Is Jason? Has anybody seen Jason McCall at all? I'm just curious. I
And
don't
that's
know
how we're
who
going to
they
wrap
played
it up tonight, everybody.
yesterday.
So for the Doctor, Matthew, Dennis behind the glass, and again, no sign or word from Jason McCall. A tough one there for him and the Ravens. We're looking for you, Jason, and we hope to see you next week, or maybe just at least get in contact with you here shortly. Hope you're doing okay. Closing words, guys, as we close out tonight.
I think the doctor has closing words.
I got a few closing words. So, Jason, I've been thinking about you, Jason, and I really think that we missed you here on the show tonight, and I really feel like you should have shown up. So, Jason, if you are anywhere out there, I hope that you are safe. I hope that your family is hugging you and loving you. I hope you're not still at M&T Bank somewhere trying to figure out how to get home.
Deuce needs a daddy.
Deuce needs a daddy. So, Jason, come back home, Jason. This song is for you. Happy holidays, everybody.
We'll see you next week.